Hi guys, so we're here in Marseille. So welcome to my new vlog. This is my second time here because I was here on my way to Nice last time when I went there. But this time I'm here for a few hours, actually only 4 hours today. And I'm heading right back home afterwards, even though it's a 4 hour way, one way. But basically what happened is I was supposed to go to Lyon actually, but then I couldn't make the train. So I'm switching it to Marseille since there was no other trains. And I think it's still gonna be a pretty jam-packed vlog because I already have my route pretty much already determined. I'm gonna see all of the major landmarks and I think it's gonna be very interesting. And yeah, I'm gonna try to hold the camera straight and also not start every single recording with "all right guys" or whatever I said. I know I start every single time saying the same thing, so I'll try to improve on that. All right guys, so the first stop is Old Port, and basically that's the oldest part of the city. And I'm gonna head in that direction now, but it's incredible the view that you have just as you exit the train station. So you can see there, it says Gare, this is the train station, and just check this out. A lot of my friends told me that there's not a lot to see here, but I think they were wrong. Alright guys, so I'm making my way still towards the Old Port. Just to give you guys a quick notice, this is the second biggest city in France. So it's just behind Paris, or not just behind, but it is the second biggest behind Paris. And it's quite interesting how the train station is literally on like a hill. You can see now I'm walking down and look at the steps there. Do you see how they're made in that way? That's because this is full descent. Like that's the best way you can picture it. So it's interesting. It's literally on a top of a hill, and to get back to the port, which is at sea level, you have to walk down, of course. Alright guys, so first stop is the museum, and I'm gonna just do a quick speed run to be honest, and I'll probably only show you guys one or two things. But check out here, you have a reconstitution of a ferry from a very long time ago. I'll check. So the base of this boat that you see was a merchant boat from the second half of the 6th century, and it would have carried 12 tons at a time. So just so you guys know. And there's also a reconstruction, I think here, of what it would have looked like, but I'm just guessing. Alright guys, so here you have a Hellenistic model of the city of Marseille, and that dates from the 3rd to 2nd century before Jesus Christ. So like 200 to 100 AD, I think, if I'm not mistaken, but I might be wrong. And it's a 1 to 500 scale. And lastly, Hellenistic, so that was when the Greeks were in power, and 1982 was when it was built. But you can see there, I think this is the Old Port right there, so it has been much changed today, but it's a cool replica to see. Alright guys, and now you actually have an evolution. So this is Marseille in the 14th century or the Middle Ages. So 1357 is the date that they know it was the latest that it could have been, because one of the buildings is still there. That was destroyed in 1357, I guess. And it's a 1 to 1000 scale as opposed to 1 to 500. But you can somewhat see the evolution of the city. There's more buildings than there were before. But other than that, it kind of looks the same, to be honest. Alright guys, so they have a bunch of interactive displays in this one. I found incredibly interesting. You can see with the different buttons, you have different lines connecting North America or South America and Europe. And this is because these are all the products that were only a result of globalization, and they're all imported from South America. So I'll quickly go over them. You have pineapples, which was used by the royal. Actually, one of the French kings forced his gardeners to plant it in their garden so he could give it to a gift to a woman he liked. Tomatoes are there, which also came from South America. At first, their red color was a sign of the devil, so nobody would eat them, but then eventually they got accustomed to it. Turkey, and that one is also from, all these are from South America, so I'll stop saying it. This one, at the start, people thought it was too ugly to eat, and then slowly they just started appearing on the tables because, after all, it's a type of meat. Then you have beans, black beans, white beans, red beans, all types of beans from America. And then peppers, green peppers like bell peppers, and then also spicy ones, so that both of them are part of the same family. Cocoa, so hot chocolate. At first it was only used as a medicine though, but then the king put it in a drink and then it got popular as hot chocolate. Corn, and then lastly potatoes. And potatoes too were only used to feed animals at the start because people thought it was poisonous, but then somebody made the king eat potatoes, and then everybody was like, okay, it's good for us too. Last thing I'll quickly mention is the Marseillaise, which is the national anthem of France, but it's originated from Marseille. And you have the song written here. It's a really interesting national anthem if you want to look at the translation, because the meaning is quite jingoist. Let's have another model of the city of Marseille here. It's a bit harder to see, but this time it's 1824. So industrialization has had its effect, and you can see that there's a much more dense concentration. Check this, guys. I'm on the second floor, and you can see we have a burial ground, apparently for kids, and with those coffins, but it would have been much bigger than that at the time. And then you can see some more boat remnants just over there. So you have a nice perspective from the second floor. Alright guys, so I got done with the museum, and they also have a quick outdoor exhibit. And apparently Marseille is the oldest city in France, at least according to the sign that I just read. And then these are the remains, or rather when they had a re-excavation of the old port, this is what they found. And this is like where they redeposed it right in front of the museum for people to see. But yeah, I'm kind of underneath this tree because it's really sunny. I should have had sunglasses, but pretty cool stuff either way. Alright guys, so now I'm on one of the main streets in Marseille. You guys can see it's lined by these beautiful buildings, and then in the middle you can see the tram lines. So they also have a metro underground and an above ground railway here. And I'm actually heading towards the Lego store. So I have the Lego passport and I want to get it stamped, and it's also generally in the same direction that I'm heading. So I thought, why not take this beautiful road and get my Lego passport stamped. So I'm actually in a mall right now, and I was kind of disappointed because I thought the Lego store was a standalone store, but it's in this big mall that I'm currently in. I'll show you guys how many floors this is. I don't want to drop my phone. Okay, this one only can show the floor below, but that's not even the only floor. There's many more. And so I should be heading to the Lego store now because it's on the highest floor, and I'm gonna receive my stamp. Alright guys, so we're in the Lego store. Gonna have a quick few highlights. My favorite type of Lego is of course Harry Potter, and you have the Hogwarts castle there, which is 470 euros. I'm pretty sure that has to be one of the biggest Harry Potter sets, or at least it's the biggest one here, if I'm not mistaken. You also have Batman, you have these massive ones. So this one took 130 hours to build. And then check this out behind me, this TV. It shows what the man's holding in the box as a Lego, which is just incredible. And then this month is the theme for Lego is cars, even though there you have some Marvel, but in general you got a bunch of cool stuff. This one here I think was 100 hours, 80 hours, sorry I'm mistaken, and it's a cool shark guy. And then you got Ferrari there, and then Lamborghini on the other side, the green Lamborghini just there. So you can see the cars, and then actually Formula One behind me I just missed. So boom, and I got my passport stamp, so big success. And then every Lego store is incomplete without the Star Wars section, so I'll show you that quickly. You have, of course, all of the classic, the AT-AT, and everything else. Is there a Millennium Falcon? Oh yeah, there you go, just there on the bottom. And that one is 850 euros, so it's not cheap. And then yeah, you just have a few other ones. That one there has like a button that you can press and it starts talking. So thumbs up for me. So I already know the audio is gonna be terrible, so please lower your volume because I think with the wind it will be unbearable, but I think you can still hear me. And check this out. So it's actually a good thing that I came to this mall, even though I was disappointed at the start, because I'm currently on the balcony, so you can see this is the highest floor of the mall. Actually, it's kind of cool. Just there, it's like an Apple store. Salut! There, say hi. And then just there's an Apple store, and it's like just overlooking the entire bay. I'm not sure if it's called a bay or what you would say, but what I was going to show you is, of course, the coast. And then you have two islands there. So these were apparently made fortresses by the King of France. I think he was king, so who knows why, but those are two islands. You can actually go to them, but you need to be here for a few days to actually take the trip because it takes multiple hours. And then there you have cruise ships for days. And that's actually the city on that side, it seems, because it's really populated. But also it's just behind us, but of course it's the mall, so you can't see it. And yeah, that's it for you. And I just quickly wanted to note, so you have, of course, you might have seen this wall here, and it kind of separates the ocean from the city. And I would definitely like to know more about what that serves. Of course, I assume it's to avoid flooding or things like that, but it's also really cool because it's along the entire coast. And there must be some type of port because how else would the ships get past it? And then now I'm about to return back to the mall so I can get downstairs through the Apple store.